My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Disco Elysium. What will I level up next? Actually, you know what? I should probably think what's going to reopen most checks for me and which of those checks am I likely to succeed? Let's have a look at the map. Okay, so composure, interfacing. Interfacing has a lot of stuff it could do for me, but some of it's theft. Physical instrument is neat too. Pain threshold also. There's ones I'm avoiding doing, like the measure head roll for learning about racial supremacy. Right. Revachol, Oranje, and Classier. Okay, cool. Just making sure that I get those correct in the future. A quarterly business magazine. Over here we find governmental issues take me all over Revachol, as you can see. A party dragon's silk robe, +1 to drama and electrochemistry. Ooh, I gotta see how that looks on as well. Read its stuff. This sleazy, silky bathing robe, rather, in vibrant blues, features a roaring dragon on its front, ready to take off into the night. A red belt has been provided for fastening. It's culturally insensitive, but only for people who are not from Seoul. The real Seoulites probably don't care. So it's like the retirees in Florida wearing a kimono, that kind of sitch, I imagine, is what it's kind of an allusion to. An old photo of the same apartment, dated 01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. Samaran conical hat. This tawny cone-shaped hat looks like a beacon of Samaran wisdom. Its straws sticking up like antennas. Thank God you can't really see people's reactions when they see you strolling around in this incredibly insensitive headpiece. Insensitive bachelor party vibes. Is the negativity that we get there. Dishes soaked in a pot. An empty ashtray. Flyers for underground parties and dates for open lectures at a local university. Okay, so the picture of this, the man on the balcony is coming together. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. And, wait, hang on, not time to converse. Buckets of paint on layers of old newspaper.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Whew, okay, so this one's hard French. Here we go. Time to attempt this accent. The man in business casual removes his cufflinks.
My name is Charles Villedron. I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stability on assignment from Sir Leclerc. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I'm here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
His accent disappeared. No, first ask about an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. See, the silk robe and the Samaran hat might not be his. I don't really want to point at the bed. Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy. That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods at you to proceed. You actually witnessed? No, what's an official like you doing in Martinez? The coalition is looking out for the price stability. He raises an index finger. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. What is this international community? La Communauté Internationale is what the Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. The coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. And what do I call the coalition? Your employer, technically speaking. the government authority of Revachol, the RCM, is only one part of the provisional administration. What about the price stabilité? It is the most important thing. That doesn't tell me anything. It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability. Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change. Because when people start to starve, that's when stuff kicks off. Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That is why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. Below 2% of what? But not too far below. Too far is also bad, but close to 2%. You're not answering my questions at all. The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? Okay, sure, give me a leaflet. A sound monetary policy is essential in addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'etre of the moral intern. It's the reason I define as a moralist. He pats his pockets. But, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency. Okay, but what are you... No, I've heard about the moral intern before, but I want to know more. It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stabilité is just one of its many manned babies, just as in the coalition, as is the coalition. Turn to Kim. So what I'm hearing is we're moral intern bitches? Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one a bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern. Turn back to Thomas. Are you a moralist? But of course. But why? Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values. All right. Lieutenant, are you a moralist? Me? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Revachol. A very moralist answer, the man nods. The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors. But what is a normal, stable world? The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranje, sur le clef. Martinique doesn't seem very normal or stable to me. Martinique? No. Martinique is something else. What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world? Revachol is genuinely difficult. It's led by the interim government, which means it hasn't achieved full democracy. But they're working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking. He gives you an approving nod. I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Revachol must be governed by the Revacholians. Democracy is meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. Boom! There we go! The lieutenant clears his throat. Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM. My friend, but the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work. It didn't work because the coalition crushed it violently. Oh yes, the big bad coalition crushed the revolution. Tell me, if the revolution was succeeding, would it have been crushed so easily? My God! So we're effectively having the argument of socialism doesn't work. Just look at all of the countries in South America that have tried it. Yes, but the US has led CIA-backed coups in multiple countries there and is currently fostering one. Oh, but it doesn't work. This is like, oh my God. It's the argument that happens on the internet every single time someone's like, but what about Venezuela? But what about Venezuela? But also, what about Bolivia? What about Áñez? What about the fascist government getting in over... Anyway... A literal coup against. Anyway. Oh, yes, the big. Fine. Are we really so bad for wanting compromise, peace, and prosperity on reasonable, achievable terms? Ask yourself that. Yeah, but it's not for everyone, is the reason. It's. It happened 48 years ago, and Revachol is still in ruins. Anyway. Okay, but what are you doing here in this empire? No, you know what? Tell me about Sur-le-Clef. What's there to say? Sur-le-Clef is a modern, urbanized country that features very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly so, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of the less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of his many darlings who progress it supports and cherishes. Darlings? That can't be an official designation. What makes Revachol Sur-le-Clef's darling? Because it's a great percentage of Revachol's culture is from Sur-le-Clef. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least, is the downtown La Delta area. Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-le-Clef's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes. Tell me about Oranje. Oranje is the exemplary nation who, as a core member of the APS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-le-Clef, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community. Which one of them is more EPIS? As both founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur-le-Clef takes care of the business sides of things. Sur-le-Clef hosts the headquarters of major EPIS institutions. So, is the EPIS effectively the United Nations that is being described to us here? What was it, EPIS again? EPIS. Yeah, I don't know what EPIS stands for. Yeah. Okay, outside of EPIS, what is Oranje? Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community. But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje. Can't you just talk like a normal person? About what? About Oranje. Just tell me what it's like there. Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. The streets are clean, the horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they're an example for the less emerged nation to follow. So you're some kind of bureaucrat? Yes, as I said, I'm a commissioner from Sur-le-Clef working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. He glances at his watch. This is one of the main projects of the moral intern. Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment? Well, I'm renovating it. It's an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took up the top floor stories. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. He smiles. You could say I'm doing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. Enough business. Let's talk about something else. Whatever you wish, officer. Can you tell me about your friend? My friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and his life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. Which means something happened in his past. How did you two become friends? How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindia Peninsula, oil platforms ablaze in the night, civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is forced to step in. What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way. Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here too, my friend. And my friend too, rather. Still haven't told me who he is. Sorry, who? The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him. But I told you, officer, he's a bright young man who to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of civilization. So all you can tell me about him is he's here to study the arts. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of fine arts, yes. Which arts? He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking. Who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. What's Kadra? Kadra is a candidate member of the EPIS. But between you and me, the potential membership is a more contentious issue. What do you mean? That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, it's been pending ever since. What's the EPIS thing you keep talking about? EPIS is a special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see. God, yes, sweet standardization, the backbone of rationality and commerce. It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIs to the next level. What's on the next level? A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident. It's going to be like this place here? You mean Revachol? No, he's going to have transparent democracy. Is Revachol going to be part of the EPIS? Is one day going to be a candidate member of the EPIS? For sure. Except that candidate members never become full members, do they? Didn't you just say the candidate members never become real members? No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time and evaluation. But we are not here to talk. We're here to talk about my friend, not politics. What are you still doing in this apartment? You know what? No, I want to ask some other questions. Go Kadra, and then you didn't tell me anything about Kadra itself. Is it warm there? Cold? Something in between? He's warm. He nods. He's also known for his mind-blowing tweets and dust storms from Supramundi. Kadra's an emerging market, but it has still got a long way to go. Maybe that's why my friend's Monage decided to emigrate. Still haven't told me who he is. What's his real name? Officer, you have to understand, I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. All right. And what are you doing in this apartment by yourself? I'm enjoying the view. The man smiles, nodding to the window. What view? It's dark outside. Listen, he says, raising his hand. A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment. Someone's baby is crying. No, listen, he says again, looking outside. The Insulindian Bay. What about it? This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without the private kitchen or bathroom. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away. He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. I was asking about your friend. My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee. A busy bee? What an odd choice of words. No, it's not. Has something else in mind? I'm all ears, officer. You actually witnessed the lynching? I'm sorry to say I did, officer. The man gives a solemn nod. Start from the beginning, if you don't mind. Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play. He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher, setting the scene. Lieutenant's already scribbling down notes. What do you mean, like, in a play? It was so strange, I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember they first came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood I should not be seeing this. Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective, he nods to you. Who were they? I couldn't see their faces well, but there were quite a few of them. They were very loud and very matinee. He pauses, looking for the right wording. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get quite expressive with their profanities. How many of them were there? I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly. Maybe less than 10, maybe 8. The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number. Were any of them huge? Like 200 kilograms huge? That's quite, that's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I can tell. Did any of them look like drummers? This is me just razzing Lieutenant. Drummers? Wait. No, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like. I think we can drop the drummer angle, the lieutenant says impatiently. That was my bad. What happened next? I went back inside. Were you able to see anything from the inside? Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see. But I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. Were they men, women? All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. What ethnicity were they? I believe they were mostly white, but I believe I saw 2 Europeites amongst them. And I'm quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. What happened next? Was that the strangest part, officer? Nothing happened. It was quite obvious, only quiet for a public lynching. What do you mean, nothing happened? They lynched a guy. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no nothing. Why didn't you call the RCM? The man wipes his glasses. You're right, of course. That was what someone is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I didn't have anything else to add. About what time was this all happening, approximately? All I can say was it was late. You didn't check your watch? My watch? He looks at his watch, as though noticing it for the first time. Yes. Now I remember. It was 30 minutes past midnight, give or take. So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you? No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day. Those are all my questions. Thanks for your time. Of course, anything I cannot do to assist the RCM. Thanks, I got all I need. A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have a chance to speak again once you leave. Hold on, why can't we talk later? Is the guns diplomatic best practices for an officer in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen? He pauses. And I'm pressed for time. As you leave, I should be leaving as well. That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be loitering around underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night. Yeah, I did suspect that this was kind of like maybe like a hookup situation. It's actually like, why are you here? Why are you talking together? But you know, I guess the whole wanting to recreate the area does make a little bit of sense. But coming constantly, specifically to visit him, I don't know. It still has a little hint of that to me. Not going anywhere. I just want to take a look around in the apartment. Not going anywhere. Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. He glances. Let me know if you have any further questions. I mean, I have nothing else to look at here.
Was there anything else?
Was it because you did it, Mr. Villageron? Because I did it? The man scoffs. Don't jerk my chain, paper jockey. You did it, didn't you? What's the meaning of this? He first looks at you and then Lieutenant. Is your colleague here trying to arrest me? He sounds almost mocking, saying those words. Arrest me. There is no meaning, sir. Please excuse my colleague. This case has been a great strain on his nerves. Back off now. This man has diplomatic immunity. It serves no good to accuse him of a crime he didn't commit. Kim's right. I'm sorry. I haven't been myself lately. Well, I can certainly understand that. The man loosens his tie knot and appears to relax slightly. That hanging was a surreal place. Everything since then has been too. I was on the balcony. Yeah, I saw that. What happened next? Lynched a guy. You're right, that does sound strange. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add. See, the thing is, this dude has been checking his watch constantly in the conversation. So I forgot the time. I was not looking at my watch at the time. And then immediately remembering it on the noticing of that, to me, reads as a little inconsistent. That was a waste of time. I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance, officer. Of course, I'm glad I could help. Goodbye, buddy. I'm afraid this is the last time we will speak. It is very, very nighttime right now. We should probably go to bed. Okay. Let's go for the exit. And then straight over to the bed. I mean, things will load tomorrow, I guess, at the absolute least. I mean, that said, at the same time, I am thinking... Hang on, can I even get in there? What if I had a... Prabha? Still no. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I want to do while Kim's not around. I really can't think of anything. Kim's my companion. Ooh. That's something I can apparently steal from. Just a little bit more money. Gotta love that. Yeah, I have the 20 for Gart as well, so it's not a problem. Let's go do that. And then tomorrow we'll wake up and we'll have a look around the whole place. Hopefully we'll have a little bit less of the speed hangover, as it turns out. Maybe eventually we'll find a song to sing as well. Actually, first things first, I want to try and check this out now that... Damn. I was thinking Grassy Quebec, the chef's no longer in the kitchen, so it's a nice time to check that out. I mean, it's a nice time to check all this out. Hang on, actually, let's take out the bag. I was thinking I might be able to pick up some of the extra bottles around there. Okay, no one's still hanging around there. Do you have anything to say now that the Titus boys are gone? Titus, the Hardy boys are gone, rather. Nope, you're still all on about money. I don't know if I have to go pay Gart yet, but if I click on the door, is Kim going to be like, end of the day? Yeah, never mind. I do have to go pay Gart right now. Garter. I've money for you. Come and get it, boy. Come on.
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight. 20 real for the night. Good. You've got the room for the night. But remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow. Take it easy on him. Deep down, he really hates being the guy who has to remind you. Alright. We might get another nighttime brain adventure that could give us a little bit more information. In fact, I'm very much hoping so. See you in the morning, Kim. Empty cassette case. Interesting. There used to be a tape in this case, but it was destroyed in a fit of rage. Something about the 10 years single, smallest church in Saint-Saëns must have rubbed someone the wrong way. The label says the song was recorded in 43. That's probably like our song, me and my ex-wife, I guess. Let's see if I can do anything with this whole expression situation. Really? I do want to try and change that. Words failed to describe how rank it smells in here. They should have sent a poet. All right, then. Go to sleep. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man.
Why?
It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep, you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
That pain is your right side. In your right side is your enlarged liver, by the way. As for your kidneys, you've really been compounding the damage lately. Every cell in your body is moaning in agony. What did we ever do to you? My body's worthless anyway. No one does anything nice to it. Oof. I'm sorry, cells. It's all me. It's all my fault.
Now, you're finally thinking about something other than yourself. Let's see how far that'll get you.
I'm an artist, and liver damage is my art. These are my just desserts. I will endure this pain with dignity. Thought I was on an express of the silence. I think I need medical attention. I think I need medical attention.
Oh, yes. That'll check you out. Give you some pills. Make it all okay. The Wonder Makers.
Don't be stupid, Harry. It's not happening. They don't make new kidneys and livers in hospital. All you've got to do is pray to God it passes, while you stare at the flickering darkness.
You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
I will. I'm looking at people all the time. I like them.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets. People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves, a great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts. You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
Right on, dudes. Open your eyes. I accidentally developed the like a kind of like rocker voice kind of thing for an RPG that I was playing over the holiday break that I took away, but I didn't end up using it for the character. But it's very kind of like 50s, used to be in like maybe a metal band, but like kind of like Jack Black's appreciation for rock generally, kind of like that level, but maybe like a little bit of a hippie as well, a little bit washed up. Rock on, party dudes, what's up? That kind of thing, yeah. Suburb, yeah. That kind of sitch. Interestingly, it's one of the like gravelly voices that I can do that absolutely does not strain my throat at all to do. I'd say interestingly, it might only be interesting. It's only interesting to me. It's weird because some of them are much easier for me to do, and some of them much harder. Like the Louis Armstrong impression or the devil. Like these are things that like sound hard for me to do, but I can do them for a really long time. And then there's the horrific necktie that I tried to do in episode 1 that I can do like one sentence at a time and I'm done. That said, I don't necessarily want to do those ones for a long period of time, like unless there's like a comfortable way to do it, because I'm very cognizant of my vocal health. I actually took a vocal health school. I took a whole vocal health school. I took a vocal health class in university, just so I could learn a little bit more about the mechanisms in the vocal tracts. And just the throat and mouth generally. Part of it was focused on being able to sing better, but what I took from it, and you did have to do like a singing performance at the end. I did Ain't That a Kick in the Head by Dean Martin, which it was a fun time. There's actually a video of it out there somewhere. But the biggest reason that I wanted to take that class was so that I could kind of just perform without harming myself and to have a much better control of those kinds of things. It only came like a couple years later that I was recording, like 8 to 10 hours a day, and having the knowledge of vocal health that I had from that course actually came into effect. It might be, despite being outside of my core curriculum, because my core curriculum was, software engineering, or engineering with a major in software. It might be the class I've used the most, despite being completely outside of my educational field. Just a general that I took. All right. That's all aside the matter, but let's talk to some of these new people here. Horseface 1. Dawn in the RCM patrols officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
As Lieutenant Kutaragi explained, a patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant. I'm on a murder investigation. Are you the cavalry?
I'm definitely not the cavalry.
Hold on, you're a patrol officer of the RCM?
Yes, I am.
I'm a cop too.
I know.
Here's the real deal.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere, but if you had to guess, you would say the lieutenant is being sarcastic. Is everything all right? Why don't you want to talk to me?
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
She's still avoiding your gaze. Have I wronged you? I've done that to a lot of people.
No, you haven't wronged me. It's okay.
She shakes her head and breathes out. Something changes in her. It's pity. Pity comes over her.
Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
What does one talk about with a fellow officer? You're from the police, right? Cool. So am I. She looks around. I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith.
Wait, is he the police?
Me? No. I'm just a man with sunglasses. I like wearing
I can't do this voice for long. I realized halfway through that sentence. Hang on, this is starting to strain me.
I like wearing sunglasses inside, sunglasses and a fucking wig.
Continue. Okay, so he's obviously trying to hide his, That's the RCM patch on the back, so you are the police, but you're clearly going undercover, I guess. What are you, the police, doing here? I'm just looking out for you?
No one.
The man looks at her.
Just a man with sunglasses and you are...
Policewoman. Yes, her voice is quiet. A policewoman who just wants to do her job is all. She says quietly and looks away. So what precinct are you from? What precinct? She just sighs. Am I from? God, he doesn't know.
Fucking deranged lunatic, dude.
The sunglass wearing man pushes through his teeth. You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing something wrong? Whatever I'm doing wrong, I'm going to have to find it out in the next episode. Until then, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Disco Elysium. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourself. So play the description down below with all my content on the game, past, present, and future. And hopefully we'll see you next time.